Okay, so the Quasi Experiment by Tanisha Curitin and Mildred Martinez. A quasi experiment is an empirical interventional study used to estimate the causal impact of an intervention on target population without random assignment. Quasi experimental research shares similarities with the randomization controlled trial design, but don't have the element of random assignment to treatment or control. Quasi experimental designs allows the researcher to test an intervention without using randomization. Quasi-experiments have the potential to provide causal evidence with similar strengths to that generated in RTC. This evidence can be generated in an observational study. So you can ask yourself, is random assignment used? Yes. Well, then it's randomized or true experiment. No. Then you can ask yourself, is there a control group or multiple measures? Yes. Then it's a quasi-experiment. No. Then it's a non-experiment. So, quantitative research. Quasi-experiments are quantitative. Quantitative research refers to the process of analyzing data in a numeric form. The objective of quantitative research is to examine social phenomena by collecting objective data. Quantitative research is concerned with discovering facts about social phenomena. Data are collected through measuring things, data is analyzed through numerical comparison and statistical references. Also, data are reported through statistical analysis. Steps used in the qualitative research method. The conceptual phase in this phase formulation of a research question / identifying the variables, review of literature, and formulation of hypothesis takes place. The design and planning phase. Well, here's where you're going to select the research design. In quantitative, the design uses the controlled and structured aiming to eliminate bias. Development of interventions and protocols in designing the sampling plan. The empirical phase refers to data collection, organizing, and evaluating data. The analytic phase, all quantitative data must be subject to interpretation. The dissemination phase. In this phase, communication of the findings and putting the evidence into practice takes place. So one of the examples that we found for quasi-experimental control was a study of a school-based mental health program to improve the self-esteem of primary school children. So this study was called the Treasure File Program. They used that program to see if it improved the self-esteem of primary children. It was evaluated by measuring students' well-being, self-esteem, emotional well-being, family relationships, friendships, and school performance. A quasi experimental design with intervention control groups was used. There were 794 primary school students. They were from the ages 7 to 11. Intervention group and for the intervention group, and 592 were recruited in the control group. For the experiment, the students received the TFP and participated in a questionnaire. The questionnaire was only done during school. And it was conducted from April 2016 to March 2017. So the results indicated that the program was effective in helping with the self-esteem. Some limitations in the study. The program was only offered to boys in one of the studies. No control group in another school. Social support was only available in the Everybody Different program. It was conducted among secondary students instead of primary students for some of the schools. And the study contained non-randomized assignments of schools to the intervention and control groups. So schools with students with low self-esteem could have joined the intervention group. Only 1 out of 5 schools in the intervention group had a high score. And you could not rule out teachers had high expectation of the program, which would make it biased. So some limitations continued is that students and head teachers knew if the group was intervention or control, which caused another bias. Access to information was difficult, and evaluation was only given to teachers. Since there was no consent from headmasters, they couldn't do a randomized study, so they can only use participants that had consent, which is why they had used the quasi-experimental design. So, limitations and challenges in a quasi-experimental study. So, randomization is not used. There may be biases that could lead to loss of internal validity, the intervention group may differ from the baseline group. Types of biases can include maturation bias, regression to the mean, historical bias, instrumentation bias, and Hawthorne effect. Researchers only publish positive findings in quasi experiments and not null or negative findings. Also, choosing an appropriate comparison group can be very difficult. And these are the works cited.